So how much did you charge as a freelancer? $10, $100, $1,000? Now I've freelanced for over 10,000 hours across different industries, and I made every pricing mistake in the book. And here's what I learned the hard way. The wrong pricing model can cost you clients, kill your confidence, and keep you stuck doing more for less. So if ever you stared at your screen wondering, is this too much? Too little? What if they say no? Then you're exactly where most freelancers start. Here's the thing. Pricing isn't just about how much you charge. It's about how you charge. In this video, I'll break down 6 pricing models, when to use each, and how to pick one that best works for you. Some of these I used myself, others I haven't tried yet, but they're great options worth exploring as you grow. Now let's get into it. Let's start with the most common, and honestly the most practical pricing model when you're just getting started. Hourly. When I first started freelancing, like most who are just starting out, I charged by the hour. Why? Because it was simple, and most importantly, it made clients feel safe. Back then, I didn't have a portfolio, I didn't have any experience, and clients don't know how I work. So offering hourly made it very easy for them to say yes. And like Alex Hormozi says, make it easy for them to buy. And hourly does that. It removes that what if gap with your client. What if this takes too long? What if they overcharge me? What if they're not worth the price? Hourly answers all these questions in one line. You'll only pay for the time it takes. Here's when hourly pricing works well. You're just getting started and building experience. The project scope is still unclear and it's still evolving, or you're training under the client or shadowing. Hourly gives you a space to learn, adjust, deliver without the pressure of fixed outcomes. But there are a few trade-offs. One is your income is tied to time. So the faster you work, the less you earn per task. And it can attract micromanagement if boundaries aren't set clearly. Hourly is a very solid starting point. It's easier to sell and clients are already familiar with it. So how do you price your hourly rate? Honestly, for hourly, there's no one-size-fits-all number. Your rate depends on few key factors. Number 1 is your skill level. Are you a beginner or are you advanced? Number 2 is your industry and niche. Is this admin work or is this high-level strategy? Number 3 is experience. Do you have case studies or are you just starting out? Number 4 is task complexity. Is this repetitive work? Does this require strategy, decision-making, or creativity? From my experience, what I did is I researched how much freelancers were charging in my niche. I looked up the rates for roles like social media management, customer support, and email marketing. But I didn't stop at that number. I also paid attention to how experienced they are, because you might see someone charging $50 per hour, but they have 10 years of experience, a lot of testimonials, and a polished content strategy portfolio. So that's not your competition yet. So when you're starting out, you can't match them dollar for dollar, and that's okay. Instead, look at others who are also in the early stages of freelancing in your niche and see what they're charging. Notice what kind of services they're offering at that rate and ask yourself, what would make a client feel like hiring you is the best deal? And remember that your goal with the hourly isn't to be the cheapest, but it's to be fair for you and your client while you build trust, skill, and experience. And as you grow, you can raise your rates gradually by 10 to 15%. And after hourly, I moved to project-based pricing. I remember offering my services to design landing pages. And instead of charging hourly, I quoted a flat rate for the entire project, like one landing page for X amount of dollars. Then you'll get this, this, and that. It included the research, the strategy, the design, the copy, and the revisions. I charged X dollars for the full package. And because I've done similar work before, back when I was charging hourly, I knew exactly how long this would take me and what to expect. And that gave me confidence to say, this is how much it'll cost, this is what's included, this is what you'll get. Project pricing gave me and my clients 2 things. One is clarity for the client. They don't have to worry about surprise hours or going above budget. And freedom for me. I could manage my time how I wanted. And I'd earn more if I work more efficiently. And project pricing makes sense if you're offering a defined deliverable. You know what your process is and how long it takes, and you want to earn based on results, not hours. And this model is perfect especially for creative work, like logo designs and branding kits, landing page design, website builds, anything that has a clear start and ending point. But if the scope isn't defined, you'll drown in work. When I started doing landing pages, I once undercharged because I didn't clearly define my revision limits. And by the end of the project, I had done nearly double the amount of work for the same amount of fee. So to avoid that from happening, always have a scope of work document. So how do you price project-based work? Here's what I did. When I was transitioning from hourly to project, I looked at how long each task takes me. Let's say I was designing a landing page, and I knew from past experience from working hourly that the entire process process takes me around 10 hours to finish. 2 hours for research and writing, 5 hours for design and layout, 3 hours of edits, revisions, and client communication. And at that time, I was charging about $20 per hour. So I priced the entire project for $200 to $250. Yeah, and sometimes I would negotiate, and I really hate this when it happens because I'm weak, and sometimes I say yes. But anyway, that gave me room for a buffer, covered my admin time, and accounted for any unexpected revisions. After doing a few landing page design projects, I noticed a shift. There was a rising demand for social media management. Everyone's talking about TikTok, short-form videos are blowing up, and businesses were scrambling to stay relevant online. And I saw brands investing heavily on Facebook ads, content marketing, and consistent posting, not just a one-off landing page design. And that's when I realized, if I want to grow, I need to move with the demand. Go where the money is. So I made a shift from designing landing pages to managing their social media and running Facebook ads. And again, I started charging by the hour initially. And slowly, once I figured out my entire process, I built my first package. I named mine the startup package, the growth package, and the scale package. Very original. I still use it to this day. And packages work extremely well for social media management, content marketing, email marketing, video editing, etc. So basically, if you're offering the same service over and over again, package it, give it a name, define a scope, and set a price. So how do you price your packages? Again, start with your hourly rate. Let's say you're working with $20 an hour. Map out how many hours it takes for each package. For example, the startup takes 25 hours a month. Growth, let's say 40 hours. Scale, let's say 75 hours. Then multiply and adjust based on scope. For example, 25 hours, multiply that with your hourly rate of $20 is equal to $500. Price it at $550 to give you room for admin, client communication, and revisions. And don't forget to define the deliverables clearly, like the number of posts in the startup, growth, and scale. I also experienced working with a client on a monthly basis who need ongoing support, and they offered me a monthly retainer. Now, if you're wondering what that is, the easiest way to think about it is think of a retainer like a freelancer's version of a salary. You're not getting paid per hour anymore. You're getting paid a fixed amount every month just to show up, do the work, and support the client's business. It's predictable, and most importantly, it's stable. And it positions you as a partner. And clients love it because they know you're there. You're not juggling 10 other clients and disappearing after the project ends. Instead, you become their go-to person. From my side, I really liked it because I don't have to chase new projects every single month. It gave me space to plan my calendar, batch my work, and even start building other parts of my businesses, like my YouTube channel. So how do you price a retainer? Don't just throw a random number out there. You want to make sure it covers your time, your value, and all the little things that goes into supporting the client's business. To do that, estimate your actual workload, break down what you're doing every single month. How many posts or deliverables? Are you handling engagements, reports, strategy calls? How many hours do you realistically spend? Then multiply by your base hourly rate. Let's say your base hourly rate is $20 per hour and it takes you 15 hours to do the entire work. That's $300 a month for your core work alone. And add a buffer for the unseen stuff. This is the time that you will spend in meetings, answering last-minute messages, making quick tweaks and fixes. And add 10 to 20% to account all of that. So your $300 might become $350 to $375 per month as a base retainer. The last one that I've tried is the hybrid model. To me, I don't think this would be suitable for a beginner because of the complexity. But this would be ideal if you had a few clients and you already built your systems, etc. So some clients needed me on retainer for ongoing support. But they also asked me for extra projects, like launch this campaign or a special editing of a video. Others just needed a content strategy or a month of content plan, or maybe an hourly admin support, which I kind of declined before because I didn't like to be on the phone. So instead of forcing them all into one model, I decided to go into hybrid offers that gave me stability and flexibility. Here's some of the ones that I personally tried. I tried hourly plus performance commission. You'll bill for your time plus get rewarded on your performance. I also tried package plus hourly for extras. The clients choose a predefined package, but if they need something else like extra revisions, assets, new requests, etc., then you charge hourly on top. So how do you price your hybrid offer? And this is pretty simple. Let's say a retainer plus hourly, so you can just take that monthly retainer of $375, and if there are extras, you charge $20 as your hourly rate. On top of it, if there are any extra work, or maybe a project for extras. The next one is the VIP day or the day rate model. And this is something that I haven't personally tried yet, but I think it's really cool and maybe something worth exploring in the future. I've seen freelancers on TikTok who are in design and branding who have done this very successfully, and they offer like website in a week. It's a great model if you are experienced, you're fast, and have a solid, tight process that delivers everything fast. So if you're at this stage where you want to earn more without longer commitments, a VIP day might be smart. So which pricing model is right for you? And just to be clear, you don't have to pick one forever. Your pricing model can evolve as you grow. As your confidence, client base, and skill evolves over time, your pricing should too.